verse 14 and go down to verse 17. You need to read this very prayerfully. Okay? Jeremiah 12, 14 to 17. Watch what it says. Thus saith Yahweh. Well, let me help you heathen understand. Okay, so thus saith the Lord against all my evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit. Behold, I will pluck them out of their land and pluck out the house of Judah from among them. And it shall come to pass after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them and will bring them again, every man to his heritage, every man to his land. So he's plucking us up and he's going to put us back. Okay? And it shall come to pass, talking about the heathen, listen, and it shall come to pass, if they, that is you heathen, you Europeans, listen, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, that means you Europeans got to learn the ways of the so-called Negro when he's awakened as to who he is. To swear by my name. Now I'm not going to use Lord because that's not his name. To swear by my name, Yahweh liveth. Learn that from us. Don't go to these Messianic, Caucasian Messianic. They ain't going to tell you. They not Israelites. Not unless they got it from us. Okay? No. It's not Yahweh. I'm sorry. You need to learn it from us. Yahweh liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal. See, when you worship in Christianity and Judaism, Islam, you worshiping Baal. All the gods of the nations are idols, saith Yahweh, Psalm 96. Yahweh made the heavens. That's the God of Jacob. Okay? As they taught my people to swear by Baal, if they diligently learn the ways of my people Israel, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, if you learn the ways that the Most High is awakening us to, as you learned Christianity, if you learn that, then shall they be built in the midst of my people. You're going to get the blessing. You humble yourself and learn from us, you'll get the blessing. But there's another side. If they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, saith Yahweh. I will utterly pluck up and destroy. See, there's no middle ground here. Either you learning from us or you ain't learning. It's as simple as that. So here in Daniel, the Israelite, with his awakened brothers and sisters, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, are getting ready to teach this heathen king the truth. Where his astrologers and his soothsayers that worship Baal could not. Baal means Lord. Could not learn it from them. Just like Cornelius, Acts chapter 10, could not learn the truth of the Hebrew Israelite Messiah, that black man that you call Jesus, whose real name is Yahushua, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He couldn't learn about him from the angel even. The angel said, go get Peter. He'll teach you. Go get Peter. The Hebrew, the Israelite, he'll teach you. Messiah met another Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin on the road to Damascus and said, I'm going to send you to the Gentiles to teach them. Otherwise, they wouldn't get it. And for the last 2,000 years, since Gog and Magog, and by the way, read Genesis chapter 5, 1 through 5. Chapter 10, 1 through 5. Read Genesis chapter 10, 1 through 5, and you'll see where all you Europeans come from. Genesis chapter 10, 1 through 5 tells you where the Gentiles come from. And for 2,000 years, as it has been prophesied, as Daniel's about to show Nebuchadnezzar, since they've been in charge of stuff on the earth, that's Gog and Magog right there. Gog and Magog are your Europeans. And read about Gog and Magog. During the course of either tonight's study or tomorrow, we're gonna go through that. It's gonna show you some things. Okay. And Gog and Magog are prophesied to be leading this earth as this system is destroyed, which is exactly what we see happening. And Gog and Magog can only be redeemed as they come to Israel. There's your Europeans. Gog and Magog. All these arrogant ones. I had some fool talking about you blaming the white man for everything. Where's that? How's that working for you? Stupid. Stupid. And I told him, I said, it's not about working for us. We already know. I told him, I said, we already know. What do we know? When we tell y'all what y'all been about for the last 2,000 years, we're giving you an opportunity to save your soul. That's what we're doing. When they tell you how you have created a system of oppression at every turn to oppress us for 2,000 years, and in the United States of America, which is the focal point of the end of Revelation 13, this is the nation that is in control of things, that is Gog and Magog leading at the end of this age right here, United States. And this is where it's the hottest for the Hebrew. It's the hottest in here. And I know some of y'all want to escape. I can't blame you. But let me tell you something. Some of us, the Most High has here in this pot, has us here as a testimony to them. And that's what we're doing. We testify. When brothers be saying, I want to live, or how can we win? What they trying to do? They're trying to tell you, heathen, this system is not fair, and we're giving you an opportunity to repent of your sin. We know most of y'all not. That's why you're going to be destroyed. Your system going to be destroyed. But some of y'all are, and you're going to be redeemed. That's what I told them. So that when the judgment comes, it's righteous when it comes. And surely it is coming. Daniel chapter 2. Okay. Verse 24 to 28. Therefore, Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show the king the interpretation. He saved not only him and his three friends, all of the heathen in Babylon he saved, because they were going to be destroyed. Nebuchadnezzar did not play. They're going to be destroyed. Okay? Then Arioch brought Daniel in before the king in haste and said thus, the king in haste, and said thus unto him, I have found a man of the captives of Judah. So you knew who they was. That will make known unto the king the interpretation. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen and the interpretation thereof? Daniel answered and said in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king hath demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, magicians, soothsayers show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream in the visions of thy head and upon thy bed are these. So he's about to tell him. But wait, watch verse 29. Watch verse 29. This is powerful. As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass. You see, the Most High didn't even just give Daniel the dream. Didn't even just give Daniel the interpretation, which is powerful, right? But he gave Daniel the thoughts of the king right before he fell asleep. He said, right before you fell asleep upon your bed, you was thinking about the future. You was thinking about what's going to happen in the earth in the future. That's what you was thinking about, king. And then you fell asleep. Brothers and sisters, we serve a, when you ready to serve him, you said you got a God. Israel, Zion, you got a God that's above all the gods of this earth. Judaism don't have this one. Allah and them don't have this one. Christianity don't have this one. You got it. If you want it. You ready to turn away from white Jesus yet? Huh? Islam enslaved just as many of us as the worshipers as white Jesus. You ready? You ready to turn away from that one yet too? And those of y'all trying to wear them beanies and them curls down your head like them Ashkenazis. Come on now, wake up now. Come on. Don't think because they got money in this world that they blessed. That money gonna rot with them. Forget that. That's the God of this world. That's Asatan. You serve the God of Jacob. They don't know him. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's ordained. Okay? I'm not going to go into the dream right now because we got other stuff to cover. Okay? But I'm just wanting to let y'all know the God of Jacob puts on the thrones who he wants to. And the people that are over them, some of them people are oppressive, some of them arrogant, right? Nebuchadnezzar was arrogant, and he had to be humble because he was going to be a servant to the Most High, and he ended up being a servant. Sometimes he uses his servants, Yah does, to reach some heathen, even in high places sometimes. But they got to get humbled, which he had to be. If you read Daniel 4, you'll see that. He had to be humbled. Okay? But when we are obedient to his commandments, you see, brothers and sisters, we're placed into captivity because we were disobedient. Our fathers were placed into captivity because we worshiped other gods. Aside from the one true God of Jacob, we worshiped other gods. That's why we got placed in such harsh captivity. But we are in a blood covenant with the only living true God. We're in a blood covenant with him. And now we are awakening back to it. If I'm awakened, I'm not the smartest apple on the cart. Y'all should know there's other people out here awakening up. And that awakening will give us power. Power like you never seen before. Power like this earth never seen before, like no king has. Okay. Now, let's go now. Jeremiah. I seem to be in Jeremiah quite a bit. Jeremiah chapter 27. Jeremiah chapter 27. I'm going to show you something. Because you're going to see this in Isaiah 45. Jeremiah 27, I'm going to read from verse 1. Let's see. From verse 1 down to verse 11. Okay, actually from verse 1 to verse 12. In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, came this word to Jeremiah from Yahweh, saying, Thus saith Yahweh to me, make thee bonds and yokes, and put them upon thy neck. He's telling Jeremiah, put a bond and a yoke upon your neck, like a sign, right? And send them to the king of Edom, and to the king of Moab, and to the king of the Ammonites, and to the king of Tyrus, and to the king of Zidon, by the hand of messengers, which come to Jerusalem unto Zedekiah, king of Judah. He made this yoke, and he told him to send one to all of these different kings, have it sent by messenger, and command them to say unto their masters, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the Most High of Israel. Thus shall ye say to your masters, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it to whom it seemed meet unto me. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, my servant. He calls him my servant. Now, Nebuchadnezzar is a Hamite. And yet, the God of the Israelites is calling him his servant. Now, let me explain this. Whenever you see the Most High calling a heathen king his servant, it's because this king is going to end up working for the favor of his chosen. When his chosen return back to him, the king will end up working for the favor of his chosen when his chosen come back to him. See, here he's using him to punish his chosen, and then later on, as you will see, when they come back to him at the end of 70 years, he brings them back to the land. And Nebuchadnezzar himself becomes converted to the God of Jacob, not to Judaism, No such religion in the Bible, but to the God of Jacob and the understanding of Messiah. Oh, yeah. Look at Daniel chapter 4 real close. He saw Messiah. Yes, he did. He knew who Messiah was and who the Hebrews were waiting for. Unlike these Ashkenazis that claim they still waiting for him. Come on now. All right. Verse 6. And now I have given all these lands into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant. And the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him, even the beasts. All nations shall serve him, and his son, and his son's son. So he tell him, his son, and his grandson. And that's exactly how it worked. Belshazzar was his grandson, and that's when they lost the kingdom. It was him, it was Merodach, and then it was his grandson, Belshazzar. And that's after that they lost the kingdom. Okay. But he said his son and his son's son, until the very time of his land come. Then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish, saith Yahweh, with the sword and with the famine and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand. Therefore, hearken not ye to your prophets, nor to your diviners, nor to your dreamers, nor to your enchanters, nor to your sorcerers, which speak unto you, saying, ye shall not serve the king of Babylon. For they prophesy a lie unto you, to remove you far from your land, and that I should drive you out, and ye should perish. But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, those will I let remain still in their own land, saith Yahweh, and they shall till it and dwell therein. And I spake also to Zedekiah, king of Judah, according to all these words, saying, bring your necks under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, that ye may live, that is his people, that and live. See, that's why Messiah was telling our people, pray for your enemies. He was talking about the Romans that was occupying the nation of Israel at that time. Pray for your enemies. Love them. Pray for them. That's what he's talking about, because they were under the occupation by order of the God of Jacob. Okay, that's why they were there. The Romans don't occupy. We're not in captivity because we're good. We're in captivity because we messed up. But now it's time for us to awaken to the God of Jacob. Then it don't matter what kingdom we in, because the God of Jacob is above all, and he will deliver his people. And the Bible prophesies he's going to deliver his people. So now I'm calling on people, get away from these false beliefs, these false gods. Come back to the God of Jacob, especially you Hebrews that are Hebrew by blood. Forget this kingdom. Forget this money. I'm telling you, they're going to cash this money in the streets, brothers and sisters. The gold, and they're going to be cast in the streets. The day is going to come when it's going to be worthless, when this whole world economy is going to crash, and it's going to not be by the control of the powers that be the way it is now. They control that through their Federal Reserve, through their banksters. No, this is going to come by the plague power, like in Egypt. You're going to destroy the economy. It's not going to be us doing it. It's going to be our God doing it as we return to obedience to him. Okay, so now we can see he sets up kings. Right? Okay, now let's go to Isaiah chapter 45. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Now, when we looked at Isaiah 44 last week, when we looked at Isaiah 44, we saw that at the end of Isaiah 44, he prophesied about a king that was to come named Cyrus. This was the Cyrus the Persian, who would give a decree at the end of the captivity to send his people back to the land to rebuild the temple. Okay, to rebuild the temple. Now, in that regard, Cyrus is acting like a type of Messiah. Because when Messiah returned, we're not going to have to rebuild the temple. The temple's already built, but we're going to come back to the land and be there at the temple and worship in his temple. Okay, that's when the New Jerusalem comes. So in that regard, he's a type of Messiah. All right. So what you see from him, you're going to see from Messiah. So let's take a look. Let's start at chapter 44 and let's read through from chapter 44. I'm going to start at verse 21 and go down to verse 28. Isaiah chapter 44 from verse 21 to 28, on our way to Isaiah chapter 45. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel. Who is he talking to? Who is he talking to? Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. We already did a study last week, I think, where it said Jacob is Yah's servant. The so-called Negro is Jacob. Okay, we already been through this. I have formed thee, thou art my servant. O Israel, thou shalt not be forgotten of me. Why would he have to remind us that we're not going to be forgotten? Because it seems like we have been. It seems like we have been. Because you've seen what's going on. They murdering us in the streets. And this ain't new. They've been lynching us for 400 years in this country. There has never been a time ever when the government has done anything that caused us to advance. Not for long. See, all these people talk about, I've never lynched anybody. I didn't kill anybody. You're part of a system that you're benefiting from off of our backs. You're part of a system that allows you to gain wealth when you get up off your behind, because we have worked hard to build this system for you. We worked hard to give you this system. 350 years of free labor. And it's still continuing. The three strikes law was created not to fight the drug problem. How do we know that? Because right now you got an opioid crisis that's affecting the Caucasians. I don't see no three strikes law for them. But when they put the crack, let me tell you something. Crack was created in a laboratory. Black people ain't going to get on and say, let's invent crack. That was dumped on them by our government. And then when they got us hooked on it and we fighting over it, they put us in prison. And from that point, as felonies, you are now a slave. And they offer you for free labor. They was just putting out fires in California not too long ago with prison labor. Brothers going in there for 25 cents a day, risking their lives. That's slavery. It still exists. So they got more than 400 years of free labor. And we built their wealth for them. He has not forgotten us. We need to return to our God, the God of Jacob, to obedience by his spirit of perfect righteousness, through Messiah, whose real name is not Jesus, Yahushua. That's his true name. That's his Hebrew name, the line of the tribe of Judah. Let's continue. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgression, and as a cloud thy sins return unto me, for I have redeemed thee. How does he do it? Through Messiah, who we just mentioned. See, in the original King James, for those of you that are ignorant of this, you Christians, the original King James, go look up the 1611 King James. There's no J in there. There's no J in there. Because you know why? The letter J did not exist in 1611. So let's think about this. If the letter J did not exist in 1611, guess what? It did not exist when Messiah was born. Therefore, it would be impossible for him to be called Jesus. It would be impossible because the letter J did not exist. So what was he called? Well, when they did the 1611 Bible, they called him Jesus. Zeus. Where you hear that name Zeus from? It's a Greek god. You think they called Messiah by the name of a Greek god? Jesus? Seriously? Anyway, that's for the heathen Christians. We know his name because we're supposed to. We his chosen people that are called by his name. His name is Yahushua. That's his true name. If y'all want to humble yourselves and learn that, learn it. That's your shot. Learn it. We'll teach you. Yahushua. Yahawashah. It means Yah exists to save. Yahushua means Yah exists to save. Catch it now. Okay. He blotted out our transgressions through Yahushua. Sing, O ye heavens, for Yahweh hath done it. Shout, ye lower parts of the earth. Break forth into singing, ye mountains, O forest, and every tree therein. For Yahweh hath redeemed Jacob. There it is. And glorified himself in Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. Ahia, or I am, is Ahia. See, that's what he told Moses. Go tell him Ahia sent you. You say, well, is his name Yahushua or Yahweh or Ahia? It's both. Ahia means I exist. I exist. That's Ahia. That's what he said. I am that I am. I exist that I exist. Ahia, Ashar, Ahia. But then he said, by my name, Yahweh, I was not known to your fathers. That's my name, Yahweh. Yahweh means Yah exists. Psalm 68, verse 4. Call by his name, rise upon the heavens. Yah, that's his name. And he says, Yah exists, Yahweh. He that cometh to Yah must believe what? That he is, that he exists. And he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. That's Hebrews. Let's continue. Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, he that formed thee from the womb. I am Yahweh, that maketh all things, that stretched forth the heavens alone, and spread abroad the earth by myself, that frustrated the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backwards, and maketh their knowledge foolish, that confirmeth the word of his servant, and performeth the counsel of his messengers, that saith to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and to the cities of Judah, ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof, that saith to the deep, be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers, that saith to Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. Now, this Cyrus wasn't even born yet. In this writing of Jeremiah, see, Jeremiah is before Isaiah is before Jeremiah. Jeremiah came later, much later. And Cyrus came after Jeremiah. Daniel was an old man when Cyrus came, and he was prophesied hundreds of years before he was even born by name and what he was going to do, which is what he did. He ended up sending the nation that was in captivity from Babylon, now come from Babylon to the Medes and the Persians. He's the Persian king. He sent them back to go build the temple, just like he was prophesied to do. He's a type of Messiah. Okay. Let's continue. Now let's go to 45. Thus saith Yahweh to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden to subdue nations before him. I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gate shall not be shut. See, he's giving him the keys to the kingdom. Remember what it said about Messiah in Revelation chapter 3? Wait, let me show you. He's in Revelation chapter 3. Revelation 3, we'll come right back to Isaiah. Revelation chapter 3. Notice what it says. Revelation 3, under the church of Philadelphia, beginning at verse 7. This is Messiah speaking. Watch what he says. And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia, right? These things says he who? He that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David. That is the key to the kingdom. He that openeth and no man shutteth, and shutteth and no man openeth. That's Messiah. See, and he's talking about Cyrus here. He said, he shall open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gate shall not be shut. This is the keys to the kingdom. So Cyrus is a type of Messiah. Messiah is going to deliver us from these evil nations, these evil kingdom, this evil system that we're in right now, this capitalist, communist system that we're in, this fascist system. This oppressive system that causes some to be wealthy, fabulous, and some to go hungry, that one is going to be destroyed. Yahushua is coming. The destruction starts with the awakening of the children of Jacob. It's already started. See, in the midst of all this noise out here, them killing us in the streets, them marching, the people of Jacob. Yeah, it's already started. And the heathen can believe it, or they don't have to believe it. Trust in your white Jesus. He's not going to be able to help you very shortly. And those trusting in their guns, them Klansmen they got with the badges on, them Klansmen in the blue uniform with the badges on, their guns not going to be able to help them soon. No, like I said, when we return to our God, he will place protective angels around us. When we return to our God, he will fight for us. And that's the miracle is going to start to be wrought. You're going to see. Okay, watch. Let's continue. Verse 2. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight.